So, with our sidebar of sleuthing out of the way, it's now time to go on to the real matter at hand, and that's to locate Cheryl here at the lakeside. Still, we don't really have any clues about where she might be, and there is quite a bit of lakeside to investigate. I suppose the most reasonable place to go would be the best vantage point, which would probably be the lighthouse. Good news is that seems to be not too far away, just right down Sanford. Now, while there are a few enemies here and there littered about in the darkness, we don't really have to worry about them. There's no reason to waste too much time in this tourist trap. Though there is one little side area we do want to make sure and visit for a couple of additional items. Yeah, the staircase holds just a few more items, much like it did at the drawbridge. In this case, some very nice rifle shells, and just another health drink to add on to the pile. If anything, though, I think it would be nice to get to the lighthouse to get out from all this darkness and just the never-ending danger of being out here in the middle of all these enemies. It honestly can't get any worse than this.
What's this? Oh! Oh!
Possibly I might have spoken too soon. The nightmare world has become seemingly reality. It's not just whenever Harry manages to pass out from some unforeseen circumstance. This was just straight up reality melding into the nightmare. To make matters worse, since we are outside and still in this nightmarish otherworld, that means that we are going to have some returning in extremely dangerous enemies to deal with. So outside these few items here, we aren't going to want to linger outside for too long in this deadly tourist trap. We are going to want to do our best and make a pretty straight line over to the lighthouse. There are a few little avenues you can go down, but in reality, there's not anything in the way of items or anything of interest down in this area, in this nightmare world. The only thing that's really going to be waiting for us around here is a whole lot of deadly creatures. Our path is initially blocked off, we can at least get a little bit of a safe reprieve inside this little boathouse here. I mean, anything's got to be better than being out there with all those night flutters and wormheads roaming about. Still doing pretty well in the healing item department. But something about this boat doesn't really scream out safety.
Cybil!
Harry!
How did you get back here?
I followed the sewer. Were you the one who cut the fence?
Yeah. I'm glad you made it. I was worried about you.
You were worried? Where did you disappear to? Never mind. I want to know what's going on here. What is with this town?
This may sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've got to believe me. I haven't gone crazy, and I'm not fooling around. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. But now I know I'm not. It's not me. This whole town. It's being invaded by the Otherworld. By a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. Little by little, the invasion is spreading, trying to swallow up everything in darkness. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what that lady was talking about.
Harry, hold on a minute. I don't get it.
Look, I don't understand it all myself. I guess I can't explain it.
Well, what's making this happen?
I don't know that either. But I do know Cheryl is there.
There?
Under whoever created this darkness. Cheryl is somewhere and she needs my help.
Harry, this whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest.
Cybil,
The demon is awakening, spreading those wings.
Dahlia Gillespie.
Was it not as I said? I see it all now. Yes, everything. Hungry for sacrifice, the demon will swallow up the land. I knew this day would come. And what's more, the task is almost finished. There's only 2 left. To seal this town to the abyss, the mark of Samael. When it is completed, all is lost. Even in daytime, darkness will cover the sun. The dead will walk, and martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. Everyone will die.
So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl.
It is simple. Stop the demon. The demon taking that child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Before it is too late. Stop it! Stop it!
What do I do?
Go to the lighthouse on the lake. And to the center of the amusement park. Make haste. You are the only hope.
Look, Harry. I really don't get what's going on. But if there's a chance we can save your daughter, I'm in. I'll check out the amusement park. You go to the lighthouse.
Cybil, thanks.
You will need to use it.
Use what?
The flowers. Only with that can you stop it.
What about Cybil?
So even more doom and gloom from the mouth of Dahlia Gillespie, and what's worse, extremely prophetic and dire words regarding poor Cheryl, and the possibility that she might be used as some sacrifice to this darkness. At least I do appreciate that Cybil is here to assist us in trying to take out these marks of Samael. And I guess it does kind of work out for us that, we were heading down to the lighthouse either way. Still, I am kind of worried on our ammunition front. Got plenty of rifle shells, but my want to focus on using the shotgun kind of backfired on me. Still, it shouldn't be that bad, right? It's just going right down the pier here to the lighthouse. Can't be that hard. Part of me kind of wonders, though, even up to this point in the game, whether or not Cybil is actually seeing what Harry is seeing. I mean, she's noticed the monsters and things like that, but is she seeing the world in the same nightmarish way that we are? If she is, she hasn't really said anything about it. I mean, there is still always that possibility that some of this stuff is very much just in Harry's mind. But much like the streets, this other world has completely ripped apart the pier and made it into just a piecemeal little walkway to try to make our way around, and what's worse, there are going to be plenty of enemies giving us a hassle of making our way down to the lighthouse. I suppose it does kind of make sense to some degree that since there are more marks being unleashed, that there indeed are more enemies to deal with. But it definitely doesn't help that there's just so much pitch black darkness around and even less areas to maneuver around in here. So while before I did kind of belittle the name of the Night Flutter, we will definitely be learning to rue their existence and fear their flaps going out in the darkness. Because this area is pretty much made for them to ambush us in. Rompers, though, are a little bit less of a hassle, especially with the shotgun. So I have to make sure and have an ear out for their monkey-like tones. And hey, we're already pretty close to the lighthouse. So we do want to go out of our way to make sure and pick up a few items, though they're not going to be that simple to pick up, and I figure this would be a good time to show off the somewhat stealth you can use in the game to catch the drop on some enemies. Yeah, that little enemy encounter there can go pretty south for you if you manage to let either of those night flutters get up into the air and start swooping about. In fact, it's kind of hard to perceive, especially with the limited visibility, just how many night flutters there are in just this very small area. And they are very good at taking you by surprise. In all reality, it's best not to let hubris get the better of you to try to get some petty revenge on them if they start to get a lot of swipes at you. I wish I could say that I was not a man overtaken by my own hubris, because this piece of shit is going down. Sadly, where one might fall, another two managed to immediately take its place. And it's seriously just becoming a war of attrition that I'm quickly losing. Now, you might be curious why I do drop my aim for just a little bit, and that's because if Harry is not immediately pointing the gun at something, he will take a little bit of additional time, and it's usually better to just drop your aim and try to re-aim again to make sure that he's locked onto the enemy, just so you're not wasting any shots. Case in point, the second worm head is what I actually want to be aiming at, but since I didn't let go of my aim of the worm head that was laying on the ground, I wasted a couple of shots and took some unnecessary damage there. Still, it's alright, we did waste a bit of time, but we are finally where we were aiming to go, and that is this very dilapidated lighthouse. Hopefully our dilly-dallying didn't delay us too much from making sure that mark of Samael didn't spawn up on top of the lighthouse.
Wait! Damn, I was too late.
Sadly, we were too late. Alessa was able to make this devilish mark and just become one step closer to unleashing the full darkness. I can only hope that Cybil managed a little bit better at the amusement park, though, as Harry pointed out, I'm not sure what she'd be able to do without the Flaros that only we have. If anything, hopefully we can manage to catch up with her and make our way together over to the amusement park.
Cybil hasn't come back. That creep's sure to show up at the amusement park pretty soon. Let me be on time.
As you can pretty much imagine, though, the streets are pretty much ripped up. Though we were nice enough to be given a hint about some alternative way to get over to the amusement park. And yeah, considering all the fighting we did, our shotgun stock is pretty much emptied out at this point. Gives us even more of a reason to completely ignore any enemies on the boardwalk and just make our way over to whatever means we can have to get over to the amusement park. Not sure what that arrow is supposed to denote, but we'll be checking that out soon enough. Yeah, it is slightly interesting that if you did manage to, connect all the different maps that we've collected over the course of the game and plot out all the areas where we found marks of Samael before, they do actually form a bit of an lopsided downward pointing triangle. I guess this is where Cybil might have gone. I'm sure nobody was really wanting for a secondary trip down to the sewers. I suppose at least it's going to be a bit of a shorter trip. So there is some good luck in that. That doesn't make this any less of a dangerous journey for Harry. In fact, things are actually a lot more dangerous down here, and I'm going to say a bit more demonic. Maybe not as subtle as before, but yeah, definitely the Otherworld has done its own little interior decorating down here, and it's very demonic, let's say that. As you might imagine, there are still plenty of hang-scratchers waiting from the rafters to take a few quick swipes at Harry if you're not paying attention. Just an overall very, very oppressive tone to set down here, especially with the pumping music. It's nice at least that we can fill up on some of the handgun bullets that we are going to have to burn through down here. You can try your best to make a beeline through all these hang-scratchers, but yeah, the ones from the ceiling make it especially hard to navigate through. In fact, there is an additional danger waiting down here in the sewers that we kind of got introduced to back in Annie's bar. Yeah, these little guys right here are called mumblers. While they don't seem that imposing, they are actually fairly dangerous and fairly meaty. And believe it or not, due to censorship laws in both the, PAL regions and even in Japan, the great children that you would have normally fought back in the school were replaced with these late-game enemies, and it made the school especially difficult to navigate. To deal with them for too much longer, because believe it or not, we have finally made it to the amusement park. It seems that the amusement park was hit pretty hard by the Otherworld renovations. And sadly, all these larval stalkers are not going to have their amusement here. Question is, though, where is the center of the amusement park, and why are there gray children here? I suppose they would have been more mumblers in the other regions, but I guess thematically it does make sense that there would be children at an amusement park. But we don't really have time for rides or games. We need to find out where the center is, and well, there's no map to this area. We're not going to end up finding one. It's mostly just trying to poke around for anything that's actually still structurally standing at this point. But I guess additionally thinking of where a mark could possibly be put, I mean, the Ferris wheel wouldn't really make sense, and you know, that other moving amusement park ride wouldn't really work, but I suppose a merry-go-round would definitely make a reasonable spot to put a large satanic circular symbol. Well, whatever conked out Cybil down in the sewers has made her away from the amiable police officer she was before into, well, a gun-wielding psychopath aiming to take us out. And bear in mind, getting shot by that gun is extremely painful. It will take out almost 50 to 70% of your health. And a part of me, considering all that Cybil has tried to do for us over the course of the game, I just really can't bring myself to fight her. I feel like there has to be some other way for us to win this fight. Just what could it be? I mean, what other items do we even have in our inventory that could help us deal with this? I mean, there are a few key items we managed to hang on to even after solving the puzzles. And we have that receipt, that's just not really useful. Hit her with Flauros, I guess, but what about this weird liquid we found before? Doesn't really help from the front, but I did notice that spot on her back. Maybe if we used it there.
Cybil! Wake up! Snap out of it! Cybil!
Harry, what happened?
Shh! Don't talk. I'll take care of you.
Harry, why did they take your daughter? Why her?
I'm not sure myself. But, you know, Cheryl isn't my biological daughter. I actually haven't told her yet. She probably already knows anyway, though. We found her abandoned on the side of the highway. Nobody knew where she came from. We didn't have any kids of our own. My wife was sick, and it didn't look like she was getting any better. So we took Cheryl in.
So in that case...
there might be some connection between Cheryl and this town.
So what do you do now?
Cheryl is my daughter. I will save her no matter what. I figured you'd show. Hold it right there. I don't know who you are or what you're trying to do, and I don't care. Just one thing. Let Cheryl go. That's all I ask. What? Damn! Huh? What is this? Where's Cheryl? Give me back my daughter.
We meet at last, Alessa.
Dahlia Gillespie? Where's Cheryl? Where is she?
Alessa. This is the end of your little game.
Mama?
Huh? Could she be...
You've been a ghastly little pest, haven't you, Alessa? I was careless, thinking you couldn't escape from our spell. But Mommy didn't know how much you'd grown. That's why I couldn't catch you all by myself. But what a pity, yes? Now you're half indebted to this man for his help.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Alessa, my dear little girl, there is one thing left I need you to do for me.
No! Get away from me!
Bad girl. Everything's ready. Let's go home.
What's going on here?
Harry.
Lisa. What happened? Where's Alessa and Dahlia?
Harry, listen. Something you said before has been bothering me. I just can't get it out of my head.
What is it, Lisa?
So I went to look in the basement, even though I was scared as hell. Like you said, there were these creepy rooms, but nothing really unusual down there. But while I was down there, I got this weird feeling. Like I'd been there before. Like something happened there, but I can't quite remember somehow. What was it? Harry, help me. I'm so scared. I can't take this.
It's only a temporary thing. You're in shock from when you were knocked out. Don't fret about it. You'll remember after a while.
No. You don't understand.
Wait! Where do you think you're going?
Betrayal, intrigue, Just more questions than answers. And just what is going on, and what's the connection between Dahlia and Alessa and Cheryl? Just so many things left to figure out, and everything will come to a head next time as we head into the final update for Silent Hill.